We've had ice, we've had snow, now it's the turn of dry asphalt. Welcome to the French island of Corsica and round 3 of the World Rally Championship. Held in recent years toward the end of the season, this year's rally has moved up the calendar, and so the weather may be even more of a factor than usual. Nestling in the Mediterranean, Corsica is actually closer to Italy than France and is much smaller than its southern neighbour, Sardinia. The rally is based in the island's capital, Ajaccio, with the 3 legs to the east, north and south of the city. French teams have dominated the event for the past few years. The pre-event favourite won it 2 years ago and was second here last October.
I look only in the front and I want to go faster, maximum, faster and better to go in this one.
But his weekend didn't begin well. Panizzi broke his rear suspension on the shakedown test the day before the start. At least it didn't happen on stage 1. That's what shakedown's for, after all. Marcus Grönholm, the winner of round 2 in Sweden, currently leads the World Championship, but admits that tarmac isn't his favourite surface.
I tried to progress on asphalt. Maybe my first podium here, I hope. But if I cannot fight for the top 3, I will take the points that I get, and that's important for the championship.
The third of the works Peugeots is driven by the reigning world champion Richard Burns, who's still learning his new car. Modifications made after Sweden should have helped.
We made quite a lot of changes since Monte Carlo to the setting of the car, and it feels now quite a lot more easy to drive. A lot depends on the weather, obviously, because I think a lot can change this weekend.
Francois Delacour won the rally in 1992 and has been second no fewer than 4 times. But he's also adapting to a new team, Mitsubishi, and so is only too aware that victory this year is unlikely, to say the least.
We know, the team know, I know that we have still some work to do on the car, and the reason why at the moment we are not expecting to win here.
Colin McRae's won Corsica twice, in 1997 and 1998 in a Subaru, but is pessimistic about the possibilities of repeating that performance this year in a Ford Focus.
I think we'll be competitive, but I don't think we're going to be competitive at the top end.
Rain, however, might swing things in Ford's favour, so you can never rule out McRae or his teammate Carlos Sainz. The island has a reputation for punishing even the slightest mistake. One man who knows that only too well is Tommy Mäkinen. His regular co-driver Risto Mäkinen is still out after their crash here last October, so Kai Lindstrom will once again accompany an upbeat Mäkinen.
Car feels very good. It's nice, easy car. I have to say it's easier car to drive as last year's new car when we were here.
Talking of new cars, Hyundai have the 3rd evolution of their Accent WRC here, but the shakedown stage also caused them a few problems, as a sheepish Freddie Loix explained.
I went a little bit beside on the road, on the grass, and I couldn't get any more properly on the tarmac, so I just hit the pole and damaged the intercooler and radiator.
Last year's winner, Jesus Puras, isn't here, but Citroën do have a single, semi-official Zara for Filip Bugalski.
I think a good car for win or for disturb the good pace.
This is how the Drivers' World Championship looks after the Swedish rally. Marcus Grönholm has a 2-point advantage over Tommy Mäkinen, with just 5 points separating third-placed Carlos Sainz from Richard Burns in 7th. In the Manufacturers Series, reigning champions Peugeot already have a 4-point lead over Ford, while Skoda are the only team yet to score. Day 1 dawned dry and clear. The rally's return to springtime meant that snow still lay on the mountaintops, with plenty of sunshine to warm the tarmac roads down in the valleys. 5 stages made up the rally's opening day, a relatively short pair to start with, then stage 3, the longest of the entire rally, followed by a repeat of the earlier pair, 129 kilometres in all. As championship leader, Marcus Grönholm was the first to tackle the 17.5 kilometres of stage 1. Voted fastest on the stage, the unblinking Gronholm's only anxious moment came when he did something like cutting a corner. An inspection after the stage revealed no serious damage, and only a little time was lost. Like Gronholm, Mäkinen's never won this event, but unlike his compatriot, Mäkinen has won on tarmac, and so was confident he could do well in Corsica. Stage 1, though, also caused concern for the four-time world champion, but the reason was very unusual. The stage was 200 metres longer than it had been last October, and Tommy had simply forgotten to make pace notes for the final couple of corners. Confusion in the car soon went, and only a few seconds were lost, but Mäkinen was less than pleased at his mistake.
100 maali. Tulee tää oikein, meidän ei osteta tää oikein. Saatana pitää.
Carlos Sainz's problems at the opposite end of the stage. A gearbox which thought it had selected first gear when it hadn't was the cause of the delayed start. Again, the fault didn't lose much time, but co-driver Luis Moya was quickly on the radio to arrange a replacement.
Acaba con una masogo corta, frenando para derecha calenta. Abrirse, uno, derecha rápida, ojo, para izquierda para más en quinta, diera poco, para derecha rápida menos, para izquierda para más corta en quinta, abrirse uno cambia asfalto, izquierda acá, para uno corto, derecha acá no corto.
Despite the hiccup at the start, Sainz was still quicker than teammate Colin McRae. The two Fords, however, were around 15 seconds off the pace of the stage winner, and so the team continued to pray for rain. Richard Burns was fourth fastest on the stage. The thousands of twists and turns made Corsica a co-driver's nightmare. Just listen to the machine gun pace note delivery of Robert Reed.
20 right, 60 K right and K right in line. 20 flat left, 20 medium right, tightens maybe 20, slow K left, tightens maybe in, line maybe 20, K right long, 30 braking, slow K left and K left minus tightens, 10 slow K right in long, to medium left, to fast left 10.
3 of the top 4 times on stage 1 were set by Peugeot drivers. The odd man out was Subaru's Petter Solberg. Team orders had forced him to drop from 4th to 5th on last year's event, so the Norwegian was out to prove a point and flew through the stage, losing less than 4 seconds to the only man who went quicker.
Line into 2 right minus tighten short, 1 plus unseen, 40, damp 6 left, opens 40, don't cut, 1 left plus.
That man, as almost everyone had predicted, was Gilles Panizzi, co-driven by his brother Hervé, who gave a demonstration of just how to drive these treacherous mountain roads.
Sur droite 90 plus Pacor, gauche 90 court, droite 90, pour gauche à fond, 40 mètres attention, gauche 85 long, 50 mètres épingle droite, pour gauche à fond long, 80 mètres, droite ferme 95 de l'entrée humide. 50 mètres.
After a superb drive in Sweden, Francois Duval's Corsican weekend took a little while to get going. That stall cost around 10 seconds, and the young Belgian must have been glad to reach the first corner and get away from the cameras. Armin Schwarz headed the Hyundai Challenge, but debutant Thomas Kuhar retired his accident brakes after his throttle jammed open, while the expected charge from Philippe Bugalski failed to materialise after he was slowed by the loose gravel thrown onto the road by earlier cars. So this was how things stood after stage 1. Panizzi the early leader, with Solberg preventing an all-Peugeot top 3. Mäkinen was ahead of the unlucky Sainz, while Colin McRae led the pack chasing the top 6. First to 12th were already covered by over 26 seconds, and another 15 stages remained. The next of those, repeated at the end of the day, was the stage which saw Tommi Mäkinen's accident last October. Zooming in, thanks to Virtual Spectator, you can imagine the risks faced by the drivers as they tackle the ribbon of tarmac which snakes up the mountain. For safety reasons, this year the stage only runs as far as the village of Tolla, before the scene of Mäkinen's accident. This horrific scene could so easily have been far worse, but as it is, Tommy's regular co-driver Risto Mäki still isn't ready to return to the championship. In addition to shortening the stage, the organisers have also used water-filled barriers this year in an attempt to make the event safer. You'd have thought those events would have played on Mäkinen's mind, but as he starts the stage, it seems he's still annoyed at his mistake at the end of stage 1. Fifth fastest, Mäkinen and Lindstrom were also still fifth overall. Grönholm's Peugeot was over 8 seconds quicker than the Subaru. Grönholm missing out on setting the fastest time by only 0.3 of a second. The second fastest time meant that Grönholm and co-driver Timo Rautiainen had moved up into second place. Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya saw no repeat of their mystery gearbox fault, but this time the pair clipped something at the side of the road which punctured a tyre and cost them about 10 seconds. Richard Burns was again fourth fastest and arrived at the end of the relatively short stage with his brakes smoking.
50, easy right, braking long 10, medium left plus tight, maybe a medium left plus 70.
Petter Solberg had doubts about his tyre choice, commenting that the road was quite slippery. The Impreza was third fastest and dropped to third place on the leaderboard behind Grönholm.
One right plus, opens 30. Short 3 left, into 6 right plus, 40, flat 6 left, 36 right, 40 line into 2 left plus and gap, tightens minus, and short 5 right, 40, half 2 left, keep in, 30.
Once again it was Gilles Panizzi who was quickest on the stage. With still no sign of the predicted threat from Bugalski, the Peugeot driver's only competition it seemed came from his teammates and Solberg.
Droite à fond, gauche sans long. 60 mètres, gauche 95 long plus.
2 stages into the rally, Panizzi's lead was now a little over 5 seconds.
Droite 95. 60 mètres, gauche 95 un peu long.
Mitsubishi hadn't expected to be on the pace, they weren't wrong. Delacour was 9th, but felt that the car felt much better than it had been on round 1 in Monte Carlo. Another team who weren't expecting to be on the podium was Skoda. Sure enough, their challenge was led by Tony Gardemeister, who was a lowly 17th. Stage 2 might have only been 11.5 kilometres long, but it gives us a perfect chance to show you something you'd never normally see. Imagine that 4 drivers, Panizzi, Grönholm, Solberg and Mäkinen, started the stage together. Thanks to GPS tracking and data from the cars, we can see that 9 kilometres through the stage, they'd have been spread out like this. The first 3 are fairly evenly separated, but Mäkinen is already a long way back compared to his colleague, who's right up there with the 2 Peugeots. That's what losing just 6 seconds looks like.
The feeling with the car is perfect, and the car is very competitive, and I am very happy for that.
Philippe, you're 15th after 2 stages. That's not a good start for you.
No good start, but I don't understand why. I don't understand. Nothing.
After last hairpin right, it was the hairpin was our last note, and I thought now it is end of the stage, and but I couldn't see anything. I thought, wonder what is going on?
So I'm in first gear. I even try in the second stage to leave the clutch before to make sure I was in first gear, and then when it was coming to 0, I was again in neutral. So we have to find out.
Is the Pirelli rubber working?
It's working better. I think they will work even better now. The second time we go through, the temperature is going up, so I think it will be even better now.
But I hit something in the middle maybe, and And yes, when we came to the finish, I saw it was on the rim, quite big damage. So, but we were lucky. I didn't lose maybe 1-2 seconds.
At nearly 37 kilometres, stage 3 was the longest not only of day 1, but of the rally itself. It was very nearly a case of business as usual, with all 3 Peugeots in the top 5 stage times. Grönholm was 4th fastest. He lost a little under a second to the charging Solberg, but was still in 2nd place.
Oikein hidas. Kolme ja vasen nopea. Saattaa oikein eri soppuun.
Mäkinen was 6th quickest, and again faster than Sainz to consolidate his 5th place.
Helppo oikee miinus aukee, 6, pirun pitkä kovasen miinus, pikkupomppu alussa kapea silta, älä oikase. Plus 7, suoralla vähän kosteita ja vähän kosteen pitkä vasen nopee. Ja tosi pitkä K-oikee miinus aukee vähän lopussa, 3, pitkä K-oikee plus 1.
Sainz and Moyer lost a further 8 seconds to Mäkinen and Lindström when they again clipped something hidden in the grass and ruined another tyre.
Derecha, oiga. Derecha, izquierda, rápido, con la izquierda. 10. Derecha, campo contra la izquierda, mucho. Para uno corto, frenando. Izquierda, buena señal y no cortar. Para derecha, caneta corta, ras. Para izquierda, casi tira poco. Para derecha, que corta en cuarta, se abre. Acaba buena más.
The 3 silver Peugeots might have been dominating the leaderboard, but the blue one was just outside the top 10. Harry Rovanperä drives the 3rd works car on gravel events, but runs in a semi-official 206 on tarmac, another Finn who's more at home on loose surfaces. Richard Burns also prefers gravel, but the world champion is quite happy on asphalt. 5th fastest on stage 3, he was still 4th overall, taking another 3.5 seconds off the chasing Mäkinen.
Medium right 50, medium right plus in 80.
But for the 3rd stage in a row, it was Burns' French teammate who set the fastest time.
Gauche sans bref, dans droite 95 plus. Ouvre 40 mètres comme 90 plus. 10 plus 50 mètres.
Gilles Panizzi's lead was now up to 13.5 seconds. The long stage, though, took its toll on several cars. Kenneth Eriksson's Skoda was among those which suffered from excessive tyre wear. His co-driver, Tina Turner, cheerfully passing on the news to the team in a way only she could get away with.
Tack. Super 1 for Tina. We are clear of stage. Our tyres are...
Peugeot didn't have things all their own way either. Bugalski had finally woken up, it seemed. His Citroën was 2nd fastest and had moved up into 7th place. So after 3 of the day's 5 stages, Panizzi, Grönholm, Solberg and Burns were still very much in command of the rally. But just 2.5 seconds off Sainz's 6th place was Bugalski. Marco Martin was now ahead of Colin McRae, while Delacour had dropped to 10th.
We had some problems, yes, we lost the alternator belt on the stage, but okay, I didn't lose so many seconds.
Just had a little bit problem with the last 8Ks of the stage with a little bit understeer. And you know, we have to try to improve all the time, and then I thought maybe I pushed too hard from the start.
Gilles, you just won the 3rd stage. Will you be allowing any other drivers to win a stage this year?
It was not easy because this stage is the longer, this rally, and it was difficult for the tires.
7 kilometers before the end, we ran out of rubber on the tires, you know, and I don't know why, if we was pushing too hard on this rough stage.
Did you make it to the end of the stage or get out and change the tyre then?
Yeah, we're driving slowly towards the end of the stage. The last 5 kilometers, it was like just nearly on the rim, you know, so we had to do that.
Stage 4 was a rerun of the day's opening stage, but this time the clouds had started to gather, making tyre choice even more difficult. Grönholm went with exactly the same choice as the morning. They obviously worked. The Finn was 3rd fastest.
pitkä hidas.
This time, however, the 2000 world champion was slower than the man who took his crown last year, Richard Burns.
Fast left plus down maybe to fast left hook, slippy, Tyson's maybe 20, Christ 20.
Burns and Robert Reid were second quickest, only 1/10 of a second up on their colleagues.
In long, 30, K left tight to slippy maybe, and K left in, 60, easy right, to easy right in, to flat right 50, flat left.
A little of the pressure would be taken off the Peugeots on stage 4 when Petter Solberg became the latest in a long line of drivers to discover that Corsica punishes even the smallest of errors.
Open 40. Okay, get a turn round.
Co-driver Phil Mills reminds Solberg to turn around, but otherwise the incident barely gets a mention.
Tightens 1+ of a junction.
The missing front bumper will be replaced at service, but the rear bodywork is rubbing on a tyre, and so the duo will need to make some running repairs at the end of the stage if they're to avoid losing yet more time. Watched, but of course not helped by the local fire crew, Solberg gets the job done, but doesn't even have time to tell us what happened before heading off to stage 5. No such worries for the Panizzi brothers. They were fastest yet again, their 4th stage win in a row, stretching their lead to over 16 seconds. Causing more than a few raised eyebrows, meanwhile, was Francois Duval. On only his 2nd rally in a Focus WRC and his 1st on asphalt, he was 7th fastest on stage 4, beating Marco Martin in an identical car. Stage 5 was a repeat of the 2nd, but by now conditions were very different to those of the morning. For the first time all day, the fastest time was set by a driver other than Gilles Panizzi. It was, though, another Peugeot, that of Marcus Grönholm, which took the honours. With the rain came the expected change of fortunes for Ford. Sainz was 2nd fastest, just 2.1 seconds down on Grönholm.
Derecha buena más en quinta, poco atrás de izquierda y no cortar. Frenando para izquierda buena en tercera, poco atrás de izquierda y sabe por dentro fin. Para derecha buena más ojo corta de tierra, abrirse.
Once he'd actually started the stage, Colin McRae also enjoyed the wet conditions. He and co-driver Nicky Grist were 5th quickest.
Straight 70.
Panizzi could only manage the 12th fastest time, losing 13.3 seconds of his lead, and so undoing most of the good work he'd done on the 4 dry stages.
100 mètres. Gauche ferme 90 long.
Burns also suffered, 11th quickest, but a 2nd faster than Panizzi. It would still be an all-Peugeot top 3 at the end of the day, but the advantage wouldn't be as commanding as they'd hoped.
Fast right minus 30, fast left minus middle 20, medium left plus 30, flat right 40, crash 30, easy right plus.
If Francois Duval had enjoyed the dry 4th stage, he must have been in heaven in the rain. An incredible 3rd fastest, beating McRae in the process. Duval had shown that Ford's confidence in him had been justified and that his is a name to watch in the future. But Ford weren't the only ones to be grateful for the rain. Hyundai's new Accent WRC3 had a steady first day, but Armin Schwarz rounded it off by setting the 4th fastest time on stage 5, even though both he and Freddie Lawrence were well outside the top 10. So Panizzi leads Grönholm by exactly 3 seconds tonight, with Burns a further 22 behind. Mäkinen, Sainz and Solberg round off the top 6, while Filip Bugalski will start day 2 in a threatening 8th place. With more rain forecast, the rally's longest day is set to be a thriller.
Yeah, we lost out a little bit in the last stage, but with the rain, I think the first must be sort of 3 or 4 cars had a little bit cleaner run.
Yes, good position, because maybe raining this tonight and 15th position I can see the first car and for the choice of the tires and okay, no problem, it's good.
In fact, we are very satisfied. cars are running problemless totally. Gilles has gone fantastically since this morning. He has been slightly handicapped by the rain, as Richard has done as well in the last stage. And this shows us this rally is really complicated weather conditions-wise.
The French island of Corsica, birthplace of the Emperor Napoleon and home to round 3 of the World Rally Championship. Thousands of twists and turns make the first dry asphalt event of the season a particularly tough test of man and machine. The island lies to the south of the French mainland, around 100 kilometres east of the Italian coastline. Much smaller than its near neighbour Sardinia, Corsica's mountains play host to the rally's 16 stages, spread out over 3 days, and centred around a single service park on the outskirts of the capital, Ajaccio. This rally has a reputation for cruelly punishing even the smallest error. Colin McRae was lucky to escape a huge accident here 2 years ago. Tommy Mackinnon's regular co-driver Risto Manasenmäki is still recovering from injuries he received in this crash last October. No such problems on day 1 this year, which was dominated by Peugeot. Gilles Panizzi was quickest on 4 of the 5 stages and led at the end of the day, while Marcus Gromholm set the fastest time of the other, 2nd place, and the reigning world champion Richard Burns, 3rd. Subaru's Tommy Mackinnon ended the day in 4th place, but lost a few seconds on the first stage for a very unusual reason.
The hairpin was our last note, and I thought it is end of the stage, and I couldn't see anything. I wonder what is going on.
His teammate Peter Solberg looked to be the only driver able to threaten the Peugeots until he made a slight mistake on stage 4.
Open to 40.
50 seconds lost meant Solberg would end the day in 6th place. The day's last stage was run in heavy rain, and so the 14 were able to claw back some of the time they lost in the drive. Carlos Sainz headed their challenge in 5th place. But there was no denying who was the star of the day.
Fantastic day for me. And for Peugeot also, because I think 3 cars in the first position, it's good.
After the first day, Panizzi's lead might have only been 3 seconds, but Peugeot's occupied all of the top 3 places. The Subaru and Ford drivers knew their Pirelli tyres would work better in the rain than in the sunshine, and so went to bed praying for a planned burst. It looked as though their prayers had been answered when they arrived at the first service area of day 2. Tyre choice would be critical. Would the day's long first stage remain damp, or would those clouds deliver their threatened downpour? While the Pirelli technicians were hard at work at both Ford and Subaru, their Michelin counterparts were offering their advice at Peugeot.
Don't make the choice
according to them.
According to them. Make the choice you have in your head.
We get some more area here.
The choice, it seemed, was clear. A slick tyre if you thought the rain would hold off, an intermediate pattern if you thought it wouldn't. In practice, though, the decision was far from simple.
It's not so easy we can make easily right choice or easily wrong choice. It is very difficult.
I think my choice is the mixed tires. Little bit for rain.
I've no idea. I don't know what the forecast is. There's some light rain maybe, but is it enough to take a rain tire? I don't know.
In the end, Gromholm went for an intermediate, as did Panizzi, Mackinnon and Solberg. A last-minute panic suggested a change of heart by Burns, who joined McRae and Sainz on slicks with an extra cut around the circumference of the tyre.
What is very important when it's wet, the car and the driver are more important than the tyre. When it's dry, the tires make a big difference.
We wouldn't have long to wait to see just who was right. 7 stages made up day 2, with a repeat of the rally's longest to start. A batch of 3 shorter stages would then be repeated, a total of 150 kilometres in all. The weather, though, would be the day's main talking point. The clouds covering the mountaintops certainly looked as though the predicted rain wasn't far away. The top 15 A-seeded drivers run in reverse order on days 2 and 3 this year. So Hyundai's Armin Schwarz was one of the first to find out just how slippery the damp tarmac was. Kenneth Eriksson and co-driver Tina Turner also fell foul of the same corner. Ford's 21-year-old Belgian sensation Francois Duval showed his teammates just how it should be done. His was the fastest of all 4 Ford Focuses, 5th on stage 6 and by now 10th overall. Philippe Bugalski's position on the road on day 1, plus an exhaust problem, meant that his Citroën was well over a minute down on Peugeot 2 problem. He was 4th fastest on stage 6, however, so his charge up the leaderboard was underway. The tyres to have, it quickly became clear, were intermediates, not the cut slips that McRae had chosen. 10th fastest on the stage, McRae and co-driver Nicky Grist had taken advantage of the rain and dropped a place to 8th. Petter Solberg's tyre choice, on the other hand, was perfect. He was fastest, his achievement accompanied by the rhythmic voice of Phil Mills.
4 right, opens 50, 5 left, 40, 4 right minus half long, tightens 3, slippy maybe, opens 60, slippy braking, 6 right plus of a bump 30, 1 left plus slippy, half long, opens 30, 4 right plus, opens 50, half 3 right plus tightens, into 3 left plus, opens 40, line into half 4 right, 60, slippy maybe 3 right plus, opens long, keep in, 30 slippy entries, 1 left plus fast.
Solberg was particularly pleased to win the long stage 6, even if he seemed a little surprised at the finish.
It's very good, no problem at all. Just very, very slippery sometimes. Correct tyre choice. Okay, yeah.
Carlos Sainz, 9th fastest, dropped from 5th to 6th behind Solberg, thanks to his decision to take a slick tyre on the stage.
Para izquierda rápido José Estarras, con fe, para 1, derecha buena más, ras, sucia, para 1, izquierda buena más, poco tarde, acaba caliente de tierra, abrirse 1.
Tommy Mäkinen, like his teammate, had also opted for intermediates and also took over 30 seconds off Sainz. The Subaru 1-2 also meant that Peugeot no longer held all 3 of the podium positions.
Oikein aukee, heti jatkuu oikein 4, huomio pitkäkö oikein, miinus, tiukka suppu, 4, servo vasen.
Richard Burns was another who was kicking himself for that late change of heart. The 7th quickest, he and co-driver Robert Reed dropped from 3rd to 4th on the leaderboard.
20 K-left minus low to K-left, 50 medium right plus, tightens, sorry, medium right minus tightens maybe, 20.
Marcus Grönholm and Timo Rautiainen fared a little better, but not much. The pair were only 6th fastest.
8, oikea eri sumppuun. Oikea täys ja vasen täys. 8, vasen hidas silta.
Best of the Peugeots was Gilles Panizzi, 3rd behind the 2 Subarus.
50 mètres, droite à fond bref.
Despite being slowed at the end of the stage by a tyre which was almost off the wheel rim, Panizzi's lead was now back up to over 13 seconds once again. Gilles' 2 biggest fans, his wife and daughter, were at the end of the stage to wave their encouragement. So, for the first time, the Peugeot drivers didn't have things their own way. Mäkinen was now up to 3rd and Solberg up to 5th after stage 6. Behind the point-scoring places, Philippe Bugalski was now 7th, ahead of the Ford trio of McRae, Marco Martin and Francois Duval.
Petter, a great tyre choice there has given you your first stage win of the rally.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I was really looking forward to the rain now, and the car is working perfect, so yeah.
Colin, it seems to have gone from bad to worse this morning.
Yeah, it was. This was our chance to make up a bit of time. Sadly, it went the other way. It wasn't a disaster, but it still wasn't a good choice. We took a bit of a gamble, which, if the weather had stayed as it was, would have been the right tyre. But unfortunately, it started to rain on the way up to the stage, so we just spent the whole stage trying to keep heating the tyre.
Richard, you're not looking too happy. Wrong tyre choice.
No, not really. No, we only lost 2 seconds to Marcus, who was on the intermediate. We were on quite a heavily cut slick, and it was quite soft, so it wasn't really the wrong tyre.
Tommy, third overall now. Great tyre choice on the last stage.
Yes, it was very good. We chose normal slick tyre, which we were open a little bit, and it was working very well.
Sometimes the road was not clean, and maybe a rock, or I don't know exactly. But it was in the end of the stage. It was difficult for me to turn in the left corner.
On the way to stage 7, the team radios discussed just one topic.
Sales and Mark, give me another update, please. We're over stage 7 at the moment, and we've got light rain here. The road looks damp, a little bit shiny on 7.
Carlos, it's still very, very light drizzle, very, very light rain, and the surface is still damp to humid, okay?
The road surface was indeed damp to humid, but the rain had stopped. Freddie Loix was the quicker of the 2 remaining Hyundai drivers, 8th fastest, but still 16th overall. Colin McRae fared much better on stage 7, 2nd fastest, and must have been cursing his earlier tyre decision. Still 8th, the Focus was now exactly 10 seconds behind Bugalski's Citroën Zara.
6 left over crest, 150. 6 right and 6 right, tightened to long 4 plus.
This time it was Solberg's turn to choose the wrong tyre. Only 9th fastest thanks to 2 softer rubber compound. He must have hoped they would work on the next pair of stages which followed.
Line into short 4, right plus, opens 40, tighten short 3, don't cut. Keep straight over 60, 6 right into flat 5 left, slippy maybe, 80, short 5 right, open 60.
Carlos Sainz took a gamble on slick tyres, and that looked to have cost precious seconds. 7th fastest on the stage, Bugalski was now just over 4 seconds
Para derecha casi diera poco, para izquierda acá en cuarta, poco tarde tiene que diera Rasfin. Para derecha buena más corta, 1.
The majority of drivers had opted for intermediate tyres. They'd worked brilliantly for Mäkinen on the previous stage, and he went with a similar choice for this one.
Ja oikee, Sumppu heti oikasen vasen urassa, 10 huomio, pirun pitkä oikee, nopea kirraa pahasti. Lyhyt, helppo oikee plus 4.
On this occasion, however, all 3 Peugeots and McRae's Ford went faster than the Subaru. Richard Burns took over a 2.5 off Mäkinen through the 10-kilometre stage, moving to within 7.5 seconds of retaking 3rd place.
Flat left in and flat left.
Marcus Grumholm was just half a second quicker than his still learning new teammate, but more importantly, the Peugeot domination of the rally looked to be back on track after losing its way a little in the rain of the day's opening stage. Normal service had indeed resumed. Fastest on the stage was the 2:06 of Gilles and Hervé Panizzi, the pair setting their 5th fastest time from 7 stages.
Sur droite 95. Dans gauche, droite 95. Donc gauche à fond pleine corde. Droite 95 de long.
Stage 8 would be rerun later in the day as Stage 11. The 18 kilometres of snaking tarmac started in the village of Vero. The first 7 kilometres or so climbed to around 900 metres above sea level at the stage's highest point, before the gradual descent into the valley on the other side and the stage finish in Pont d'Azzana. Low cloud meant visibility at the summit was down to around 30 metres. For the 2nd stage in a row, the Ford drivers took full advantage of the conditions. Colin McRae, 4th fastest.
and long 3 right plus, and 3 left tightens over narrow bridge. 30, right keep out, and 3 right plus. And 6 left tightens.
But again, the 2 Subarus were let down by the tyre choice. Petter Solberg only 9th quickest. Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya was 2nd fastest.
Para izquierda rápido, ojos de tierra poco, para derecha rápido, ojo cortas de tierra, acaba derecha, acaba posible cuarta de tierra y se abre, abrirse.
The Spaniards were now less than 10 seconds behind Solberg and looked set to snatch his 5th place on the next stage. Tommy Mäkinen and Kai Lindstrom looked to have been quick off the start line, but they quickly began to lose time soon afterwards. We'll be looking in greater detail at the start in a minute or so.
Pitkä helppo oikee, 7, pitkä serpo vasen, kirraa ihan vähän. Ja pitkä oikee miinus tiukka.
100 fast left plus 30 fast left minus
Richard Burns' car away from the start, though the Englishman was only 3rd fastest on the stage. Again, all will be explained.
Right max to flat right 70, K left long, 10 K left minus to slow K left 20, medium right.
For the 2nd stage in a row, it was Burns' teammate Gilles Panizzi who was fastest, extending his lead to over 26 seconds.
Droite 95 long long. Gauche 90 long. 60 mètres. Droite ferme 90. À la maison. Bon, gauche à fond. Dans droite 95 presque plus. Gauche 95 long soulage. Sur droite 95 long soulage.
This is where the virtual spectator system really comes into its own. If we look at the first 45 seconds or so of stage 8 and compare the performances of 4 cars off the start line, we can see exactly where drivers make up, or more importantly, lose time. Our 4 drivers in this case are Panizzi, Burns, Sainz and Mäkinen, and up to the first hairpin there's nothing to separate the 4, but just look at the blue car. Mäkinen hasn't got the same amount of grip as the others and starts to lag behind. Accelerating away, they're again hard to split, but the same thing happens again away from this long open hairpin, and again on the 90-degree left-hander which follows. Burns is actually the quickest over the opening kilometre, with Panizzi just ahead of Sainz and Mäkinen already starting to drop back. Stage 9 was the 3rd and final stage in the batch of 3, so the Subarus would soon be able to change their tyres. Grip, however, wasn't the cause of the problem for Freddie Loix in the Hyundai. Stalling the accent cost precious seconds, but Loix was languishing down in 15th place in any case. Solberg's rally, meanwhile, was about to go from bad to worse.
Opens to 40, line into 3 left minus, tightens half long, and line into 2 right plus half long.
No, puncture.
Tightens slipping gravel, 1 plus.
The puncture meant Petter was only 13th fastest and dropped to 7th place behind Bugalski as a result.
Line into 4 left long, tightens slipping 2, extra long.
Mäkinen again lost time to the Peugeots and Fords, and like his colleague, had also dropped a place on the leaderboard. The 4-time world champion was now 4th. After gaining around 23 seconds from Richard Burns on the day's opening stage, Mäkinen had lost 21 on the next 3, and so was now right back where he'd started. To Burns' delight, it was the number 1 Peugeot which set the fastest time on stage 9, his first stage win for his new team.
And easy left, 20 flat right cut to flat left opens 40, slightly braking 60, fast left minus long, and fast left 50, fast left plus 30 braking medium left, plus 20 braking medium right plus, and medium right minus in, 20 fast left, 10 medium right plus cut sand, 60 left max, 60 braking, slight left 50, flat left 60, medium left plus, and medium left plus long to flat left 20, medium right, tightens in, 10 medium left plus, 20 medium right long to easy left opens 40, K right plus and K right 40, flat left braking and flat left 40, medium left.
The look on the driver's face suggests he couldn't have gone much quicker even if he wanted to. Nearly 4 seconds slower than Burns was Panizzi, complaining that he'd had brake problems for the last 10 kilometres, while Gromholm had driven cautiously and was only 6th fastest. No matter, it was an all-Peugeot top 3 once again.
Tommy, you lost quite a lot of time on the last 3 stages. What happened there?
We changed our tire after first stage. We had very good performance, and then we went to the different tire, which was different construction, and it changed completely car balance.
Petter, you've now dropped out of the points. What happened on the last stage?
Well, unfortunately we took a little bit too soft tire, but that's not the main problem. We had a puncture on the last stage. I thought it was a suspension, but it was a puncture.
Richard, you talked about getting that confidence yesterday. You've just won the last stage. Not bad.
No, it was really good. Just a good clean run. I pushed quite hard through it. I know the stage quite well, and really, I mean, the tyres, the car, everything just worked really well all the way through. We had to be a little bit careful in the end because the brake pedal was getting quite soft. The brakes were overheating, and the pedal was nearly to the floor. So we're a little bit careful in the end, but apart from that, it was good.
Stages 10, 11 and 12 were repeats of the previous 3, but this time the skies had opened. Armin Schwarz saw no repeat of his earlier spin. In fact, his Hyundai was fifth fastest for stage 10. By now sporting a new set of tyres, Solberg stormed through the stage, setting the quickest time, his second stage win of the day. But the news wasn't all good for Subaru. On the same tyres as Solberg, Mäkinen should have been equally as quick. He was, up to a point.
Pitkä vasen nopea miinus. Heti. Lyhyt oikea nopea aukeaa heti. Ja oikea 3, pitkä vasen nopea. Ja oikea täys 3. Spoori pitkä oikea eri 3. Tarkasti spoori pirun pitkä K oikea. Vähän helppo sumppu. 7.
Caught out by excess water on the road, this was Mäkinen's second retirement in as many rallies.
Our information was a little bit more dry what it was, and so we came out from the right corner into the 50 meters straight, and then again to the right corner. It was suddenly full of water, this straight, and we kept on aquaplan, and there was nothing to do anymore. It just slide off.
Choosing the tyres at the moment is really difficult. You're compromising, trying to judge what the weather's going to do over a long period of time, and I think overall it was probably a good tyre choice, but he was caught out by one heavy downpour, and that's the way it goes.
And so to the day's last pair of stages. After only being 14th quickest on 10, the changing conditions meant Colin McRae was second fastest on both stages 11 and 12. Solberg, however, wouldn't be so fortunate. Another puncture on stage 12 cost the Norwegian around 30 seconds.
120. Line into 4 right plus, tightens over bridge. Into 5 left minus extra long, opens, and line into don't cut 4 right.
Day 2 ended in the same way as day 1, a Peugeot 123. Burns' stage win wasn't repeated, but he'll start the final day in 3rd place. No stage wins today for Marcus Grönholm, but he's happy enough tonight, 2nd place behind Panizzi. The Frenchman was fastest on both the last 2 stages, and so returned to Ajaccio with a lead of over 41 seconds. 4 more stages are now all that stand between Panizzi and his 2nd win here in 3 years. This is how the leaderboard stands after 12 of the event's 16 stages. Peugeot are poised to pick up the maximum 16 manufacturer points. Just over 20 seconds separate 4th, 5th and 6th places, while Solberg will start the final day determined to take some points home from Corsica.
Richard, the end of another good day for you. Can you and will you be allowed to catch Marcus Grönholm tomorrow?
I don't know about being allowed. With 3 cars in the top 3, I'm sure Peugeot, they want to keep that, but also there's only 2 of us can score points for manufacturers, so I think it's open. We can far as I know, do what we want to do.
Do you think Richard then is going to be fast out of the blocks? He's going to try and catch you first thing?
I don't know. Maybe yes, he will try. Of course, it's not so much to get. So let's see.
The rally is difficult, and I continue to push for keep the good concentration. And the car is fantastic.
So, Tommy Mäkinen will play no part in what promises to be a thrilling final day of the Rally of France. Gilles Panizzi, meanwhile, will be hoping that he can avoid a similar fate from the island of Corsica. Corsica, an island of contrasts. In places more Italian than French, for 51.5 weeks each year, it's a haven of peace and tranquility. Then the World Rally Championship arrives. This year the rally moved from autumn to spring, so the weather would be even more unpredictable than usual. 16 stages, in effect 8 repeated, made up the rally, with the 3 days centred around a service park on the outskirts of the island's capital, Ajaccio. Day 1 had been mainly dry, but day 2 began wet. Just how wet can be seen from the state of the road surface from Colin McRae's onboard camera. And the pirouette performed by Armin Schwarz's car on the day's opening stage. The change from sunshine to rain should have helped the Ford team, but it wasn't as great an advantage as they'd hoped. A poor tyre choice also cost the team precious seconds.
Into 6 left, into 4 right, Mike.
For Subaru's Petter Solberg, 2 stage wins but also 2 punctures meant that the day was a case of all or nothing.
1 right plus. Tightens, slow 4 left. Oh, okay now.
All the time something!
But nothing is what his teammate Tommy Mäkinen will take away from Corsica.
Tarkasti spoori, pirun pitkä K oikein, vähän helppo sumppu. 7.
This rock caused the rally's first major retirement, Mäkinen crashing out of the event for the 3rd year in a row.
Suddenly full of water this straight, and you kept on aquaplan, and there was nothing to do anymore.
As expected, the rally's first 2 days were dominated by the Peugeot team, and in particular this man, Gilles Panizzi. After 12 of the 16 stages, it was an all-Peugeot top 3. Panizzi led from the 2000 world champion Marcus Grönholm, with the reigning champion Richard Burns in 3rd place. In all, the Silver Bullets had set the fastest time on all but 2 of those 12 stages.
With 3 cars in the top 3, I'm sure Peugeot, they want to keep that, but also there's only 2 of us can score points for manufacturers, so I think it's open. We can, as far as I know, do what we want to do.
While Peugeot were delighted, others were less happy. Armin Schwarz was the best of the Hyundai drivers in 9th place, while Francois Delacour's Mitsubishi was 8th. Both drivers, however, outside the points. Bugalski in a semi-official Citroën had been expected to pose a threat to Panizzi, but he ended day 2 in 4th place after a string of minor problems. This was how the leaderboard stood after day 2. The top 6 scored championship points, remember. Panizzi was on course to score his 2nd win on the island in 3 years, while Bugalski, Colin McRae, Carlos Sainz and Petter Solberg would fight for the remaining points on the final day. Those 4 were split by just 25 seconds. At this point, it's worth reminding ourselves of the current Drivers' Championship standings. Grönholm is on course to extend his lead, with Mäkinen, of course, failing to score here. Peugeot are set to pick up the maximum 16 manufacturers' points, so both the 4 drivers will be under pressure to gain the best possible finishing positions.
Corrado, it looks like this could be a very historic day for Peugeot.
Hopefully, yes. I think that we will be winning the rally, but it's true also that we have 3 cars in 1st, 2nd and 3rd position. We didn't give orders to the drivers because they are all skillful and with a lot of common sense.
The final day consisted of just 2 stages to the south of Ajaccio, which would be repeated, giving a total of exactly 112 kilometres. Much to Ford's disappointment, the weather was forecast to improve once again. Thanks to Virtual Spectator, we can take an overview of stage 13, the day's first. Hairpin bends are very much a feature of the first part of the stage, which climbs to a high of around 500 metres above sea level, before a much more open, flowing section down to the finish, where another series of hairpins provide something of a sting in the tail. The 24 kilometres will take the cruise around 15 minutes to complete.
Merci, merci.
Run almost within sight of Ajaccio, the stage was basking in the morning sunshine. With the top 15 run in reverse order, Harrier of Ampera enjoyed a clean road. 9th fastest, Finn moved up a place to 14th overall, with over 6 minutes down on his colleagues in the silver Peugeots. Francois Duval resumes his attempt to win the Junior World Championship at the next round in Spain, but he was in impressive 10th place in Corsica. The dry roads meant Petter Solberg had high hopes of catching the 2 Fords ahead of him. His day didn't begin well, however. Both Sainz and McRae were quicker than the Impreza on stage 13.
Para derecha acá,
Carlos
frenando,
Sainz and
quiere poner
co-driver
los
Lewis
botas de
Moyer were
tierra.
equal third fastest, but were concerned that their tyres had worn more than they'd expected and hoped they'd hold out for the next stage.
Para izquierda rápida, menos se cierra a fondo. Derecha, izquierda, buena más ojo, sucia, se cierra mucho y mucho ras. Para uno corto. Derecha acá se cierra poco y ras.
Colin McRae was a man on a mission.
50, K6 right into 1 right. Into 6 left, 70, K6 right and left and 4 right minus. Into 6 left and 5 right plus and 5 left plus and long 6 right.
Rogalski, however, was equally as determined.
Can you keep Colin McRae behind you?
Yes, I drive faster and faster.
The damp first half of the stage, however, saw the Zara struggle for grip. It wasn't until the drier downhill section that Rogalski felt confident, but by then the damage had been done. McRae set the fastest time, with Rogalski only the 12th quickest, and so the Ford driver had snatched 4th place away from the Citroën. With a gap of just under a minute from 4th to 3rd, McRae was unlikely to worry Richard Burns and co-driver Robert Reed.
Slight right, braking 30, flat left in 20, fast right minus and medium right plus in. 30, flat left to easy right plus cut. 20 flat left, 50, right max, 60 slight left into slight right and slight right braking 70, easy left to fast left plus cut. 40, flat right, 70, easy left 20, easy left in 30, braking slow medium right in and slow medium right to flat left, 100.
Burns, in fact, was 2nd fastest, while his teammate Marcus Grönholm was 5th. It made little difference to the leaderboard, though. The pair were still nearly 17 seconds apart.
Oikea laita vasen eri suppuun. Ja oikea eri jouhee. Vasen täys ja oikea laita vasen eri pyöreä kirraa. Oikea eri helppo ylinypyyn 210.
And Hervé Panizzi was 7th quickest, but their lead was still over 41 seconds, and so they were now just 3 stages away from victory. Less fortunate was Kenneth Eriksson, who was the slowest of the 3 Skoda drivers through stage 13 after his Octavia picked up a puncture. Let's take a look at the middle kilometre or so of the stage through the eyes of the virtual spectator. Even halfway through the stage, McRae has already opened up a gap from his teammate Sainz. The pair's Pirelli tyres benefiting from the damp uphill climb, but the best was yet to come from both Solberg and Burns. Both obviously enjoyed the drier downhill second half of the stage. Solberg made up that gap to Sainz, and the pair ended up on exactly the same time, while Burns did even better. You can can see just how far behind the Peugeot driver is, but his Michelin's helped him to catch and pass both Solberg and Sainz to set the second fastest stage time, just 4.3 seconds slower than McRae. Bravery obviously also came into play on the long descent. All the drivers hit around 180 kilometres an hour. On to stage 14, which for Kenneth Eriksson lasted around 70 metres. Tina Turner is quickly out of the car to investigate, but her hand signals are clear. The car isn't going any further.
We lost the drive, you know, on the start line, you know. Maybe it's something like the crown wheel or pinion or something. We couldn't go any further, you know.
But Eriksson wasn't the only casualty of stage 14. Francois Duval's superb drive ended in a tree around 15 kilometres into the stage. A cruel end to such a mature drive by the 21-year-old. Petter Solberg's up and down rally continued with 5th fastest time, slower than Sainz but quicker than McRae. Still 7th, Solberg knew that the point-scoring 6th place was now only a tantalising 5.2 seconds away.
20 short, 2 right. And line into 3 left tightens, minus of a crest, into short 2 right plus, opens, and 6 left into 4 right minus, open.
Sainz though had no intention of giving up that 6th place without a fight.
2, derecha frenando, derecha 40 terceras de tierra, para izquierda rápido ojos de tierra a fondo, para derecha rápida menos largas de tierra a fondo, para izquierda rápido ojos extra de tierra poco y mucho ras, asar. Corta, 1, izquierda, buena más ojos de tierra, sasar mucho.
The afternoon promised drier roads, and that wasn't good news. Colin McRae was in a similar position, but he was trying to stay ahead of 5th place Bugalski.
And 4 left. 120. Careful, 6 right tightens to 5 minus. And slow 4 left tightens. And 6 right. And right tightens to 5 plus cut, into left tightens to 3 plus.
Bugalski though took nearly 10 seconds back from McRae on stage 14. This it seemed would be a fight to the finish. Burns and Robert Reed set the fastest time on the stage.
Right plus, 50, easy right long, 70, medium left minus to medium left minus in, 80, medium right to key right in, 40, flat left, 100 is in, 80, medium right to key right in, 40.
Marcus Gronholm was second quickest, just 2.6 seconds slower than his teammate. The gap between the pair was still 14 seconds, so had Burns left his charge too late, and would the Peugeot management call an end to their battle to reduce the risk of either crashing out?
Vasen täys, 120. Oikeeri helppo. 5 vaseri tiukka leikkaa.
All that mattered little to Panizzi, counting down the kilometres now, what surely must be his first win of the season.
Droite à fond, soulage. 100 mètres. Gauche 95. Je l'aimais plus jamais ce bonhomme. Gauche 95. 60 mètres. Gauche 95, presque plus.
Just 2 stages now remained. Panizzi's lead was still over 31 seconds. Gronholm and Burns continue to scrap for second, but still on course for a Peugeot podium, while 4th to 7th were still only around 20 seconds apart. Anything could still happen before the finish.
Richard, second stage win of the rally, great news for you.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a bit difficult to risk Peugeot getting a 1, 2, 3, but also it would be nice to be in the middle of that rather than at the back of it. So I'm still going to try.
Marcus, it looks like it's going to be 6 points for you in this rally.
We don't know yet. It's still 2 stages to do. Maybe 10 also.
It looked all lost on day 1, so you must be pleased to be up there fighting for some decent points.
Yeah, no, fourth would be great. You know, sort of sixth, fifth was the position we were looking at before the rally. If we can get a fourth, it's brilliant.
Are you surprised how fast Colin was because the sun's shining? Pirelli rubber usually better in the rain.
No. It's me. Not don't a good feeling with my car. It's very difficult.
No stage win for you this morning. Were you taking it easy?
Not easy because we have the change of the grip, and sometimes it was difficult, wet and on mud sometimes outside the asphalt, and you must to stay very concentrated in the car.
The rally's penultimate stage was a rerun of the day's opener, which had seen such a storming drive from Colin McRae. Francois Delacour was by now in 8th place, poised to score a manufacturer's point should anyone ahead of him falter. That was what Peter Solberg also needed. 7th place was good for the team, but he wanted a single driver's point at least. But equal third quickest on the stage meant Solberg and Phil Mills at last moved into a point-scoring position.
6 left plus, opens, caution slow, 60, open hairpin left. Half long, opens flat. 6 right plus.
Para izquierda rápida más.
Sainz and Moya were only 6th fastest, which meant the Subaru pair had moved ahead of the Ford duo by just 0.8 of a second. The last stage promised fireworks. In the circumstances, the last thing Sainz needed at this point was for the team to point out exactly what was happening. McRae and Nicky Grist were locked in their own battle with Philippe Bugalski. A little over 3 kilometres into the stage, that battle ended abruptly.
3 left plus tightens cut ruts. And 3 right. 30, hairpin right. You okay?
Grist's concern for his colleague is a reminder of the pair's accident on the island 18 months ago, when he was forced to watch helplessly as McRae was cut out of the car after being trapped upside down for around 45 minutes. There were no such worries this time, with a paramedic swiftly on hand to check on the pair. McRae, though, had suffered an injury to his hand and had mild concussion, and so was airlifted to hospital as a precaution. The stage stopped to allow the rescue services to attend the accident.
Just been speaking to Nicky. Basically, there's like a third gear left-hand corner into a right-hand corner which had some mud on it, and they got around the left-hander, turned into the right, and basically had understeered off the road, and then took a very heavy impact.
Bugalski completed the stage unaware of the fact that McRae had been injured. 4th place was now a little more secure, but there was no realistic chance of catching the trio ahead.
Right to plus in, to easy left to plus 60, slippy baby, medium left minus gravel, in low, 20 medium right.
Burns was slowed by spectators as he passed the scene of McRae's crash. 5th quickest, 1.3 seconds slower than Grunholm. It looked to be a tall order to make up over 15 seconds on the last stage. Grunholm showed that he was far from beaten by setting the quickest time on the stage. Just the last test now remained.
Saattaa oikein nopea suppuun ja vasen hidas paskaa.
Finizzi was held on the start line to allow the medical teams into the stage. When it was then cancelled, he drove through at slow speed, unaware of what the organisers would do about his time, but like all the drivers, concerned that the injured McRae would be okay.
Nicky, Collins ended up in Ajaccio Hospital. What happened?
Thoughts of 2000 for a second there. As it happened ever so quickly. I mean, there was nothing. I could hear Colin just say, like, oh, you know, like we'd lost grip. And then the next minute there was impact. I mean, there was nothing else to do. You know, Colin's gone to hospital now to be checked out. And, you know, it looks like maybe a cut and broken finger, probably at worst, I hope.
What went through your mind when it happened? Is it, here we go again, Corsica?
No, I mean, I obviously can't really remember exactly what happened, but you know, it was definitely not coming back on, and it was after the car stopped I realised it was, you know, it was quite a severe impact because the roll cage was in against my leg. So the biggest worry was just to get out of the car and make sure everything was okay.
What is it about you and Corsica?
I don't know. It's all flashed back there. I thought not again, but you know, you've got to accept these things happen. Unfortunately, generally on tarmac, there's absolutely no room for error. And I think now with the double usage of stages, it obviously makes it, you know, the risk of getting caught out in these places a lot more.
At the start line of the final stage, the drivers were in high spirits.
Wait for the helicopter.
Okay, this is top secret. Okay.
News had obviously spread that McRae would be okay.
You're Richard Burns, we are you're going into the last stage now soon, so what is your expectation?
Sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
McRae's retirement, Bugalski ineligible for manufacturer's points, and Peugeot's able to score, meant that 8th place Marco Martin was able to score a single point for Ford. Francois Delacour also scored his first points for Mitsubishi, while the team was also encouraged by the development work they've been able to do. Solberg finished 5th, content with his performance, but well aware that he'd have been a contender for a podium place had luck been a little kinder to him. Sixth quickest on the last stage, but again slower than Solberg, Sainz would have to settle for 6th place and a one driver's point abroad. Fastest on the last stage, Bugalski's privately entered Citroën was 4th. Again, luck hadn't smiled on the Frenchman very often over the weekend, but he was pleased with the preparations for his next event in Spain in 2 weeks' time. Peugeot, however, never really looked like scoring anything other than a clean sweep of the top 3 places. The first time that's been done since the Rally of Great Britain in 1995. On that occasion, Subaru finished 1-2-3, with a young Richard Burns in 3rd place. That's where he finished in Corsica 2, his best ever result on the island.
It's been good. It's been good to. I hope everybody finishes in the Peugeots. We still got to see yet, but I think it's been quite a good rally for me.
This was also Marcus Grönholm's best finish on tarmac. The team's split time confirmed he was on the pace, but that hardly mattered. 2nd place meant Grönholm was happy enough.
Vasen eri ja oikein eri. 7 oikein. Nopea sumppuun.
Do you think she'll still be able to beat you, or do you know yet?
No, I think Gilles is faster and it's normal that he's going to win.
Uncertainty over the times from stage 15 was finally resolved. Panizzi would receive the same time as Grönholm, so started the final stage with a lead of 31 seconds. Every rattle, every squeak from the car set Panizzi's nerves on edge, but everything worked perfectly. Their boss was about to become a very happy man. Panizzi's winning margin in the end was over 40 seconds, with Grönholm and Burns completing Peugeot's perfect day. Bugalski, Solberg and Sainz rounded off the top 6, while both Mitsubishis and Freddie Loix's Hyundai were among the chasing pack.
Gilles, 8 stage wins on your home event. It's been a great rally for you.
Yes, fantastic, and happy, very happy. And I think it was not easy to win, but confident beginning to the end. And all the team are very confident for this result.
Marcus, congratulations on your best ever asphalt result.
Yes, thanks. It was good. My best result on asphalt. So I am really happy.
Why were you quicker this time? Is it just still a learning process?
Yes, I think so. Now without any mistakes, and it was quite okay. The car was good all the time. But still, it's a little bit gap to Gilles, but maybe during this year we can catch him.
Welcome back!
Richard, 2 stage wins, 3rd overall. You must be delighted.
Very, very happy. I mean, it's been a good day today. I tried very hard to catch Marcus today, obviously, but he was a little bit. The gap was a little bit too big this morning, 20 seconds, but we got it down a little bit, but not enough.
Grönholm has now opened up an 8-point lead over the other 2 event winners, Mäkinen and Panizzi. The consistent Sainz is 4th, with Burns moving up into 5th place, while in the series for manufacturers, Peugeot have a huge advantage over Ford and Subaru, to the delight of the team boss.
Corrado, we said this was a historic day, and it is. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, yes. Here in France, in our country, with our French cars, with our French driver, Gilles, winning the rally, and with 2 others exceptional drivers, Marcus and Richard, who have done a fantastic job. everybody has been perfect here, not because the result is the one you know, but because really during these 3 days, nothing happened to destroy the atmosphere, the serenity in the team. We are really very close to each other and things are working very well.
The series stays on tarmac for the next round of the Rally Catalunya in Spain in 2 weeks' time, where Citroën will join the fray. Here in Corsica this weekend, however, all three of the silver bullets hardly got a real roll. Gilles Panizzi led from start to finish and richly deserves his champagne. From the Rally of France, goodbye.